Okay, good morning, everyone. Now, the funny part has come where I can talk to myself only. Okay, thank God at least Pooja is visible to me, right? Otherwise, I was thinking I have to talk to myself, right? Okay, guys, after a long time, I'm talking to India in NSS actually, because last year when NSS, we connect actually, not NSS is like a physical form of this. When we connect started, that time, every time when the V used to tell me, can you talk to India team? I said, they listen to me every day. From last 10 years, they're listening to me only. Right? Better someone else talk to them, right? Okay. And then they used to put me into Russia, this, that, different team. But this time, back to India, right? Okay. And I'm happy that you guys are listening, but I'm not happy that I can't see you guys. So unfortunate, right? I can't see any of the face. But anyway, this is as we say, just adapt, accommodate. So yeah. Now I can see the translators at least, right? I can see Pooja, I can see Rajesh, I can see Gayatri, I can see Vijay. Yeah, these are fixed faces actually, right? Fixed faces for translation. Vijay is like a permanent Hindi translator, right? Anyway, okay, guys, I know I'm talking rubbish because I need some time. Okay, I need some time to think what I need to talk because I don't know what I'm going to talk. Okay, and as usual, I never prepare before I come and talk. But people in India, those who are listening to me for the first time, or even obviously you must have heard me actually on the YouTube or some module or some big event. But let me tell you that many people must be thinking, oh, I was fallen from heaven with some extra special powers and the success fell on my lap, right? It never happened like that, right? It never happened like that. In fact, many of you, in fact most of you, are much smarter than what I used to be when I started the business. I was not i was not as smart as you, the way you are today, right? Because we didn't had that much of exposure. Okay. And the world was not that small that we can get to learn so many things. I was a small town boy. Okay, I'm from Jabalpur. I never miss a chance to take the name of my town actually. Isi bahane at least, I can make it famous. Okay, at least in the QNet world. Okay, so I belong to a place called Jabalpur in MP, Madhya Pradesh. And so that's why I love Hindi. Okay, and because I'm from Hindi speaking state. Okay, and so I was pretty much normal guy from a small town. Father was a government employee. Okay, and believe me, I had no clue what I'm going to do with my life. I had no clue what I'm going to do with my life. I was going to school. Why? Because society tells you to go to school. I used to go to school to play cricket, to meet my friends and come back. Okay, and eat at home, go to play cricket again, come back home, watch TV and sleep. That was life. My mother always used to tell me, are you living in the hotel or a house? Because you come back only to eat and sleep. So I was like this till my graduation. I had no clue what am I going to do after this, right? I was doing graduation because everyone does it. I don't know why. Till date, I'm not able to figure out, right? I have had no clue what after graduation. My father used to tell me all the time, in my last year on the dining table, कुछ सोचा है क्या करने वाले हो आगे, you know? And I said, I don't know. I don't know. Believe me, but those were the best days. Happy go lucky, koi chinta nahi. I was at my best. Okay. And I had no clue what I'm going to do with my life. Right? And my self-image was not very high. Oh, I can do everything actually. My self-image was like, if I'm going in the colony and if two aunties are looking at me, so my self-image was कि पक्का ये सोच रहे हैं कि our kids should not meet him actually, right? Otherwise, they will get spoiled actually. That was my self-image about myself. That was my self-image. Because every time at home, I used to get scoldings only. पढ़ाई नहीं करते हो, नालायक हो, this, that, and all that, right? Okay. So that was my self-image. And I was not knowing what I can do in life. I was not even knowing. But then in final year, because my father was about to retire in next 5 years, some maturity came in. I said, kuch to karna padega, but what to do, I don't know, right? So I decided to, long story short, cut karke bolta hu. I went for MBA and all that. Okay. And then by the time I understood that asking for money from parents is not good. So I wanted a job immediately, right? Why? Not for big dreams. I was not even knowing what am I going to do in life. But just because I don't want to ask money from my parents. So I looked for jobs. In final year itself, fortunately, not one, not two, I got 3 jobs. 3 jobs from campus itself. One was pharmaceutical, second was FMCG, and third was Titan watches. All 3 big companies. But FMCG used to be a dream job that time. So I said, okay. So my offer was from Unilever. Okay. Hindustan Unilever, which is one of the biggest FMCG company. So they hired me as a management trainee. I said, okay, fine. I'll go and work there. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I don't know kya karna hai wahan pe jaake. I'm a management trainee, which means I will rotate in different functions for 6 months. After 6 months, confirmation will happen and they will give me the actual role, right? But how does it matter? Even if they tell me to sweep the floor, I'll do that because I need salary, right? I still remember my first salary was 6,025 Indian rupees, 6025. But what happened? They posted me on day 1 in Mumbai. That was a life-changing moment for me. Now, Mumbai, again, I'm not exaggerating, but any one of you have not lived in Mumbai, right? And not worked there, okay? Please go and work there. Work there for 2 years, okay? With less salary. Travel in the train, okay? You will actually get to know who you are. So when there's no other choice actually, right? And there I got to know that I am not a quitter. Because 2 guys who joined with me, they quit. They left the job and left. They said, we cannot handle this train journey and all that, right? Okay, because they had elder brothers who were already working. But I had no choice because my father was already about to retire in the next 3 years, right? So I learned how to enter in the train, how to get down from a train. And now people must be wondering what's the big deal in getting into a train and getting down from a train, right? But no, it's like everyday maxing out actually, right? It's like everyday maxing out, right? Okay, because and you have to follow the system. If you don't follow the system, okay, you will not be inside the train, you will be under the train actually, right? You know, so when we tell you that follow the system here, the consequences of not following the system is not too bad, right? You don't die, but there you die. So from there exactly, I learned to follow the systems in life actually, right? If I don't follow the system, I will die, you know. So Mumbai local follows on the system actually, right? You know, there are SOPs. Before entering in the local, you have to put the bag in front and then on your marks, get set, go. And then suddenly you have to go and, you know, stick to the wall so that other people will not take you other side. Right? You know, you have to become like a lizard actually on the wall, right? And again, I'll not exaggerate here. Okay. Many of you know the story, right? But that was a SOP. Now imagine I'm telling after coming, no, I don't like this. I don't like this. I will stand in the middle, right? Or I don't like this. This is not okay, right? Like many people start the business and they come and take the liberty to comment on the system actually, right? Correct? No, I don't like this. Why I have to do like this? Why I have to do like that, right? Why? Because, okay, then do your whatever you want, right? But there I had no choice. That's where exactly I learned not to question, but to follow the system. Because for so many years, people are traveling that distance, right? And reaching to their destination. And that's what exactly I did. Okay. And from there, started growing and all that. In 10 years, I was a vice president with the company. Okay, 9.5 years rather, right? And that is the time I started thinking that this is not something which I ever wanted to do for all my life because bank balance was still zero, right? Designations were growing, you know, but again, loans were growing. In fact, more insecure because before there was no loans. Now with higher position, you commit more also, right? So I said, no, I don't want to do this. But what to do, don't know. What to do, don't know. And that is the time I started thinking that I must do something wherein if required, I'll give blood and sweat, but not for all life. Maybe for 5 to 6 years. I should get something wherein I will give my blood and sweat. But after 5, 6 years, it should work for me rather than I have to work for that thing actually, right? So after 5, 6 years, I should have a choice of not working for compulsion actually, right? I may work for passion, which I'm doing today, right? But not for compulsion, right? Okay. And that's what exactly was I was asking from a God, right? I was knowing that this is not possible from a job. This is not possible from a traditional business also, right? Because I saw my uncles and all traditional business, 60 years also, still cannot leave the business, right? Correct. Job, obviously, if I go and tell my boss, I'll give 40-year work in 4 years. Can you give me, 40-year salary in 4 years? My boss will tell me, if you get it, tell me also. I'm also looking for a long time, actually, right? Correct. So that was the case. And as we say, when you ask for something from a God, from your heart, he gives it back to you, right? So before I was asking for a job, he gave me a job. Then after that, I was asking for a better job. He gave me a better job. Then another job, then promotion. For 9 years, I was asking for a temporary solutions, right? When I asked for a permanent solution, he gave me this business, right? Correct. When this business came in my life, I was only looking for something which can take me out of a job and give me enough time and money. That's it, right? I was not knowing how many zeros come in millions. I was not knowing how much is max out money. I was not even knowing the compensation plan also, right? I was only knowing the hope that I don't have to work for all my life and I still can earn money. That was a hope, right? How much money I was not knowing. Because the person who got me into the business, he himself was not knowing the plan actually. Right? But there was a hope that yes, there is a chance if I work hard, okay, there's a chance that I don't need to work for all my life. It can run on its own and I can do along with a job. That's how I started, right? But from day one, I was excited. I never started with skepticism. I'm not a skeptic person at all. I'm a believer. Okay. I'm a believer. I believe in everything actually. Right? I don't like to comment negative on anything. Okay. And that's how my wiring is being done actually by God. Thank God. Okay. And this is working in my favor for so many years, right? Okay. So I said, okay. When I saw the plan after 1 week, after 1 week in the system, I saw, wow, so much money. Okay. And this is simple. Let me do it. When I started doing the business, obviously, in the beginning, no result, nothing, actually struggled for 1 year, but still I was excited for 1 year. You know why? Even I was not making that much of money because I was knowing at least I have something in my hand, which is giving me a hope to get out of this rat race, right? Correct? Many people come in the business, they try for 1 month, they try for 2 months, they talk to 10 people, and then they go inside the gadda actually, right? They go inside the pit and they start feeling that, oh, it's not working. Let me go back to the same life and all that actually, right? I don't know why. I was not like that. I was thinking it's okay if it is growing slow, instead of 5 years, it will be 8 years. What's the problem, right? Correct. And I started loving doing the business, right? Okay. Second year, suddenly it started taking off. Third year, I crossed my first million. Fourth year, I moved to Dubai actually, right? Okay. After coming to Dubai also, okay, Ferrari, BMW, 1 house, 2 house, 3 house, so many houses and all. Then I started Kuwait, this, that, multiple countries, and the million become multiple million. 1 TC max out started becoming 2 TC max out, then 3 TC max out, then 4 TC max out, right? Okay. Now, why I'm sharing this with all of you, right? I've seen that many people in this business, they come and they start directly dreaming about millions. They start dreaming about, oh, millions, this, that, blah, 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 right? They want a Rolls Royce, they want a Ferrari and this and that. I was not even knowing how Ferrari looks actually that time. I was not even knowing how Rolls Royce look actually that time. I was driving Maruti Baleno, right? And I was happy with that, right? Okay. So what happened? People start dreaming something which they are not able to relate to, right? And what happens? And it become a wishful thought actually, right? And wishful thoughts never give you daily energy, right? What gives you daily energy is your next goal. What is your next goal? It can be any damn thing. It can be a shoe worth $2,000. It can be a shirt worth $500, right? It can be just a watch worth, 1 lakh or 2 lakh rupees actually, right? Any damn thing which was not possible when you were doing the job alone actually, right? And believe me, I started working for these things. I was not even knowing, I was not even thinking beyond, because there was no one around me who was living that kind of a life that time, right? There was no one, you know. I met my upline after 1 year almost, right? Okay. He was driving Mercedes and he was already a different character. So, you know, I thought maybe he's great. That's why he's having a Mercedes, right? I was not able to relate to that, right? Okay. I was happy with my Maruti, and then after that Accord. Okay. But small things, like for example, I've seen people earning money in this business in first month, suppose they earn $2,000, example, which is equivalent to maybe 1.5 lakh rupees, 1.5 lakh rupee. Okay. And when I asked them what you did with this money, they said, no, I am accumulating it. Why? Because I will do this big thing actually, right? I'll square off my loan, or I'll square off this or that actually, right? And that's the biggest problem, right? Life mein na ek gadda khuda hua hai. You know, there's a hole. And in that hole, people put their salary, right? You know, and when this extra money start coming in, they put this money also into that hole. And after some time, they jump into that hole and die. Correct? So my only request is that when you earn $2,000, $1,000, 1 lakh rupee, 2 lakh rupee, right? Use at least 50 to 60% of this money to do something which increases your belief and self-image and excitement actually. Right? And how that will happen, spend this money. Spend this money actually, right? Because I'll tell you, earning money is not very difficult in the business. Spending money is difficult. When you start spending that money, you become friends with that money, right? You're not scared, right? And when you're not scared, it stays with you for long. It keeps coming back to you actually, right? Correct? And why to spend? Simple. Because as a human being, we need a sense of achievement every now and then. We need a sense of achievement, right? Okay. So you do something. For example, when I earned my first 1 lakh rupee, I immediately bought 3 ACs. I didn't had even one AC in my house. And there were 3 rooms, living room and 2 bedrooms actually, right? We immediately bought a 3 ACs and installed, right? Now, every day when I'm coming home and sitting in the AC in Bombay, okay, I'm feeling, wow, this is possible only because of the business actually, right? So every day, this AC is reminding me that business is already changing my life actually. I don't need millions for that. By 1 lakh rupee only, it changed up to some extent. Now, if somebody says it does not work, it will not affect me because I'm already sitting in AC air actually, right? Which was not there before, right? And that guy may not have AC, right? Correct. Then second, after that, you know, when I changed my car, second-hand car I bought, big one, second-hand. Okay. But cash down, 8 lakhs, 6 or 8 lakhs, I don't remember, right? Okay. So anybody watching me, they'll say, oh, second-hand car. But I know this is cash down. I don't have a single paisa loan on this, right? Every time I used to press the accelerator, I used to feel, wow, it is only possible from this business actually, right? You know, then after that, the full-time maid at home, the cook at home, the driver at home, these things were not possible without this business, right? Okay. And for these things, you don't need millions. What you need is a mindset to spend actually, right? When you spend, you get used to these things which were luxuries before become necessity now, right? And you work for necessities anyway, actually, right? True. So check yourself because you are there in the business which can give you millions. You know, this business is like an ocean. This business is like an ocean, right? You can go with a spoon to fill the ocean water, right? You can go to fill with the mug actually to fill the water from ocean. You can actually go with a bucket or a drum or a gallon actually, right? True. But you know what? If ocean is there in front of you, why not putting a pipeline and get the whole water from the ocean actually, right? But for that, you need to build a capacity here to dream, right? Okay. And I've seen people initially, they're not able to dream. Even if they dream, oh, big things. It's all wishful thought actually, right? Okay. Because you need to actually treat yourself every month, at least with one thing, you and your family, right? Every month, one thing, right? You know, change everything. Your physical appearance, the house where you live. I'm not telling change the house. interiors, better things, your clothes, for that you don't need millions, right? Every month, if you're getting 50,000 extra, okay, why not spending on that actually, right? Why not? And if you don't know what to do with that, spend time with your uplines. Tell them to make me spend money actually, right? And I've done this. I've done this in Vietnam. I've done this in Kuwait, everywhere actually, right? Okay, why? Because people were not knowing how to spend money. This is the biggest issue actually, right? True. So my point here is simple. Do you have a short-term goal every month? Okay, every month, this month I'm going to get this and treat myself, right? Celebrate. When you celebrate, you get sense of achievement, and that sense of achievement allows you to dream bigger actually, right? And then bigger and then bigger and then bigger, right? This is for people who are new or people who are earning less, right? But now the biggest danger is when you start earning good money, right? You're earning maybe a lakh of rupees every week. 4 or 5 lakh is very good actually, right? This is the biggest danger, right? Because 4 or 5 lakh rupee, when you start earning, you're already living a better life than people around you, right? From your downline, from other people, right? And you're not able to dream bigger actually, right? And you think you're arrived, right? You think arrived. And that's where exactly you become like a king and then you fall, right? Believe me, this business is like a rocket, right? Okay. The fire need to be there all the time. That's why you need to know what is your next goal, next goal, next goal, next goal, right? Okay. And what I did, thank God, I was always spending time with people who are bigger than me, actually, right? Who are bigger than me, who have better life than me. Even when I was maxing out, I started spending more time, actually, right? With people who are bigger, right? And there was a time when I was not knowing what to do. I was not knowing what to do because so much of money already lying in the bank, so many properties, everything actually, right? And God knows, in right time, that is the time our founder, Datusri, he invited us at his place actually, right? And after coming back from there, I said, I'm still poor. I have a lot to achieve actually, right? When I saw his house, I said, okay, this is the house. We need to build the house actually, right? Okay, the new house, right? And that's when exactly everything started doing, right? Okay, so always spend time with people who are already flying. Okay, don't spend time with people who are crawling actually, right? Okay, because when you spend time with people who are crawling only to empower them so that they can start running and walking, right? But if you only stay with them and you will not be there with people who are flying, how you will learn to fly actually, right? Correct? And why to crawl when you're born to fly? Why to crawl when you're born to fly actually, right? And believe me, this in this business, either you can grow or you can degrow. You will never be stagnant actually, right? You will never be stagnant, right? Okay, so you have to ask yourself at any point of time, do you have a next goal ready actually? Next goal ready for which you are 24/7 thinking about this only, right? And I know people who work with me directly and still working with me, even if they are maxing out on 2 PCs, they're still restless, right? You know why? Because they have already the next goal in their mind, right? Already the next goal, right? Not small short-term goal. And that goal is not for achievement. It's not like, oh, I will achieve something big, right? That goal is a survival issue for them actually. Mindset, understand, right? Okay. So for somebody, Rolls Royce is wow when I get the Rolls Royce. For somebody, I won't survive without a Rolls Royce. So you know the mindset, right? That's the mindset actually, right? Okay. So understand, all the people who are actually, and do you know what is your own true potential actually, right? You don't know. This is the only business which makes us, realize our own true potential, right? And today, when I look back my journey, I was not knowing. I was not knowing God has made me special actually, right? I was not knowing I have so much of potential actually, right? Okay. But there's such an amazing business opportunity where you will decide your limit actually, right? No one else will decide your limit, right? But yes, obviously, higher the limit, the more you go ahead, you need to build a character of go-getter, right? You need to build a character who does not sit without an next goal actually, right? Now sometimes people come and ask me, why do you work so much now also? You can relax, you can chill, you can do this, you can do that. I said, why do you breathe so much when you're breathing for so many years actually, right? Okay. So sense of achievement is a oxygen for me actually, right? I cannot live without next sense of achievement, right? Otherwise, I feel like I'm dead actually, right? What is the difference between animal and us? Eat and sleep. That's it, right? Eat, mate, and sleep. That's it. That's what animal does, right? True. And in the process of you achieving more and more things, you end up touching so many lives knowingly, unknowingly. Correct. You end up building so many markets where people were waiting for some opportunity to come, right? True. So when I go to Vietnam, when I go to different places, when I go to, when I see people in Kuwait, everywhere actually, right? I see, thank God to give me that hunger, right? Why? Because maybe those people would have not got the opportunity otherwise, right? And so many blessings which come from there, protect us from everywhere, right? True. So understand what exactly. So short-term goal, first of all, new people, short-term goal. Even the old people also, right? Okay, not maybe monthly, but at least 2 months, 3 months goal, right? Every time you need to have something changing, right? Every time, right? Okay. And and then sense of achievement, then go for a bigger one, right? Okay. No, and don't let the success get into your head. The moment it goes into your head that I'm arrived, right? You're done. I've seen this. Let me warn you. I've seen people driving German cars, earning a lot of money, but then become complacent. Okay. Not, they've forgotten that they are born to fly. And they again started walking and crawling actually. And then the income come down, right? Of course, their life is changed already, right? Okay. But when the income come down, they become complacent. Then the whole team suffers actually, right? So please understand, this business can give you, I'll tell you, my upline once told me long back, his goal is to earn $100,000 a week. I was not even knowing how much. I was not even earning $10,000 a week actually that time, right? Okay, I was earning maybe $2,000 a week that time, right? He said 100,000. I don't know from where exactly that got into my head, right? I said, okay, $100,000, right? I need to hit this mark, right? Okay. Obviously, after 2, 3 TC max out, I said 100,000, 100,000, right? When I was earning $60,000, $70,000 a week, that time I said 100,000 we need to hit, right? Okay. Slowly, because the more that was there in the head, already reached there actually sometime. Okay. Then maybe sometime it comes up, down, whatever it is, right? But believe me, once you reach at certain position, you don't like to come down actually after that, right? You don't like to come down, right? Okay. And never compromise on the work ethic. Never compromise on the work ethic. You cannot, some people say, oh, I'm driving my team. You drive yourself, team will be driven automatically actually, right? You drive yourself, team will be driven automatically, right? You push yourself. Okay. People put the fire under the team's belly, right? Put the fire under your belly actually, your ass actually, right? Okay. Automatically you'll see team will follow you, right? Okay. Some will, some won't. So what? Somewhere someone is waiting, right? Okay. Keep building new markets. Keep going for new DRs. Keep doing those things which you were doing in first year. You know why? Because you don't know what is going to happen in the future, right? Nothing is permanent in this life. Nothing is permanent, right? What is permanent is your willpower. What is permanent is your ability to work, right? So why to go waste? Why to let it go waste actually, right? Okay. If you have an ability to work right now, why not earning more and more and more and building more security actually, right? And because in that process, you will grow as a person also, right? Okay. Otherwise you'll become lazy, and then you'll degrow ultimately, right? So why not more and more and more and dare to dream bigger actually, right? Dare to dream bigger. Why not, right? Correct. Earn so much of money, accumulate so much of wealth that the interest of that wealth is more than 1 TC max out income actually, right? Some people will not understand what I'm talking actually, right? Okay. The interest of that wealth is more than 1 TC diamond or blue diamond max out actually, right? Correct. Which means your only interest of that investment, okay, from the FDs and all, right, should be at least $1 million every year actually, right? Then you're safe. That's when you can think of, relaxing actually, right? But believe me, to reach there, you have to keep working all the time actually. And you cannot work till the time you are working to finish this race, right? Some people say, I want to finish it off. I want to just finish it off, right? खत्म करना है इसको करके. खत्म करने के लिए आए हो ना तो खुद खत्म हो जाओगे, कभी खत्म नहीं होगा, राइट? कभी खत्म नहीं होगा, राइट? ओके, मजे के लिए करो. दिस इज अ वे ऑफ लाइफ. Okay, this is a way of life. We will keep doing it, we will keep growing, we will keep earning, and this will be like a fun actually. This is like a game, right? The more you play, the more you win actually. The longer you play, the better player you become, right? Correct? And so push yourself. Whatever you're expecting from a team, first check, are you still doing those things actually, right? Correct? For example, very simple, when there are different ranks, when 3-3 275 is possible, then why to earn 3-3 250? My basic problem. When 3-3 300 is possible, then why to earn 275 actually, right? Which means why to stay in platinum? Why not going diamond actually, right? When 3-3 325 is there, which is blue diamond, then why to earn 3-3 250 300 also, right? Correct. So if today, if I get 3-3 300, I will feel biggest failure from my side actually, right? You know why? Simple. When 3-3 325 is possible, then how the hell I earn 3-3 300, right? And that is the reason why every time where any rank coming in, I just go with my blinkers on and on, right? And now some people depend on the team for the rank actually, right? Team for the rank. Oh, what to do? My sapphires missed, my diamond missed, my blue diamond, my this missed, that missed, right? Excuse me. If you are only riding on those 5-10 people, they will miss it actually, right? What stop you to create so many more that even if you throw a stone, your 15 sapphires will fall like this actually, right? Why? Even for that, whether it is a blue diamond or whatever it is, right? Why to depend on few people? So my endeavor or my aim is to always do double of the criteria actually, right? Bare minimum double, right? Because why depend? Because you never know who will become complacent at what time, right? And that will change your rank. It is stupidity actually, right? Okay. And believe me, rank maintenance is purely a function of your ambition, right? Is purely a function of how mad you are actually, right? How important it is for you to achieve that, right? True. People keep talking for years about same problem. But for years, if they would have worked on that, maybe some other solution would have come, right? But no. So this is such an amazing platform where you can never be complacent. Because if you're gold, you can become sapphire. If you're sapphire, you can become platinum. If you're platinum, you can become diamond. If you become diamond, you can become blue diamond. Now my problem is there's nothing after blue diamond right now. Correct? So what to go for? So then I said, okay, fine. I need to build more TCs, right? Okay. Understand. Tell me one thing. Gold max out is $12,500. Blue diamond max out is $25,000. What is better? What is better? And there's not much BV difference actually, right? Simple. A gold need to max out on 2 TC and a blue diamond max out on 1 TC in the same amount actually. That was better, right? It's even if you ask a child who's 5-year-old, will say this is better actually, right? But why? Simple. Because people are okay to crawl when they are born to fly actually, right? Correct? So understand that hunger, that hunger. Even if you're not hungry, this business is designed in a certain way. If you want to become an efficient upline, if you want to have a sustainable organization which can go till your next generation, there is no other option but to start flying actually. Right? There is no other option. Right? You have to earn more money. You have to work harder. You cannot be complacent actually, right? Okay. And somebody want to balance life here. Hello. There is no balance. There is no balance. Either you can make money or do a seesaw on the balance. Balance on the seesaw, right? True? Okay. I'll tell you what is a balance. The balance is when you travel with the family, you travel the first class. That is a balance. First class, your seats are balanced very well actually, right? Okay. Okay. That is a balance which you get. When you go and stay in the hotel, you stay in the 5-star, 7-star hotel, and don't think about, oh, the food is so expensive in the hotel, right? Okay, that is a balance actually, right? Okay, no, when you have to buy the car, you don't have to think about the cost. That is a balance actually, right? When you have to buy houses, you don't have to think too much actually. That is a balance, right? Okay, enjoy those things. But if you think, oh, I will work, I will not take tension, I will not speak to the team, I will work this time to this time only, I'll sleep this time, excuse me, not possible. Not possible at all, right? True. You have to burn yourself to become a gold eventually, right? Burn yourself means simple. You need to be passionate enough to address every issue which comes to you at that point of time, right? You cannot say, okay, I will see later, right? You can't afford to have a phone on the silent while sleeping, actually, right? You can't afford actually not to take a call even when you're sleeping, right? Simple. Because people need you when they need you, right? Not when you need them, actually, right? Okay. So simple. There has to be a fire in the belly. There has to be an ambition. There has to be a goal, actually, right? Check yourself. Do you have your next goal ready, actually, right? What rank by when you are going to achieve, right? And I'll tell you, if you are thinking, no, I don't want to do too much in this business. I just thoda gold and I will earn $5,000 all life. I'm okay with that, actually, right? You will not survive. Even if you earn that money, after some time you will go away. Maybe because of your good karma, maybe that money will come for some time, but you will not be able to survive, right? Because as I say, nothing is permanent in this world, right? You need to keep things stable, and for that you have to work, actually, right? Correct. So in this business, either you go like this or you go like this. You can never be like this, actually, right? Can never be like this, right? Okay. So my only message at the end is start flying. We all have wings, actually, right? We all have wings. We are not born to crawl, actually, right? As Dato Sri says, we are not born to crawl. We are born to fly. And each and every person, there is no capability issue. I was not very smart. I was not knowing how to do. But when you keep doing things for a longer period of time with positivity and just not giving up attitude, right? With a goal ahead. And every time when you achieve a goal, you get confidence, more confidence and more confidence and more confidence, actually, right? Correct? And that makes you learn everything eventually, right? I was not knowing how to talk to people. I never stepped out of country before in this business. I never. Now you can drop me anywhere. Any island also, if you leave me for 2 years, I'll build a team there also, right? From zero, right? Okay. I'll still do the same thing without any chuncha, without any pain, actually, right? Okay. Why? Because I love doing what I do. I love doing what I do. And I love to see people growing around me. Okay. Not just financially, but also mentally, and then taking charge. And I don't want any credit. I don't want any credit. The biggest credit is my life. My life will be the biggest credit, wherein I'll secure my next generation. I'll give best to my parents, to my family. Okay. And I'll be happy. And for me, the biggest achievement will be mentally sorted, completely sorted. No need for any achievement. No need for any sense of any recognition, actually, right? Okay. So everyone need to reach there eventually, right? Everyone need to reach there. But everything starts from your short-term goal. So do you have a goal right now? What is your goal? And before you achieve the next goal should be ready. Next goal should be ready. Next goal should be ready, right? And believe me, I think today I have more fire under the belly, under my ass, actually, more than a lot of people who are living 10% of my life, actually, right? Because I know what I want. I know what I need to do in next 2-3 years, right? True. When situation keep changing, when the situation change, okay, how to cover up everything, right? So again, fix your goal, fix your small goal, achieve, then again, then achieve, then again, achieve. And when you run out of goals, go to your appliance, ask them what should be my next goal. Okay. And if you are not able to get the solution from the appliance, go to their appliance. If you don't get the solution from there, go to their appliance. If you don't go to their appliance, go to V partners, go to AVPs, but get some inspiration from somewhere, get some goal from somewhere, work on that. Work on that, So sometimes it is so difficult to get the goal also, right? It's so difficult. Some people used to come and tell me, I don't know what to keep as a next goal. What to keep as a next goal, right? Okay. So I'm done with this. My only and only statement at the end is, don't crawl. We all are born to fly, right? We all are born to fly. Okay. Maybe we've forgotten, right? Start flying, start taking small flights, enjoy those small flights so that you're more confident for a longer flight and a higher flight. Correct? Which means short term goals, then long term, change your ranks. Change your ranks, because 33250 and 33300. 300 is better than 250, right? Okay. So for the same work, when you can earn more, why not, right? Okay. But for that, madness is required. Okay. Okay. And don't depend on your team. You do it yourself. Some people will help you from the team, those who are go-getters, right? Okay. Thank you very much. And I love you. I'll see you again soon.
Thank you. Thank you so much, VP Sachin, sir. And I am sure more than learnings, I've taken decisions. I'm going to make sure, we all going to enjoy this process, enjoy this journey of small dreams, achieving small dreams to big dreams. We learned today this business is like an ocean. We just need that fire. We just need that passion, time with the right association. So let's have our next goal ready. Let's have a character to be a go-getter, like he rightly said, and never, ever compromise on work ethic. Let's put a lot of fire, a lot of passion, enjoy the whole process. And we promise today we won't be complacent. Let's have lots of hunger, like he rightly said. We are born to fly. So, with this sense of urgency, let's get ready with our next goal and the next goal and the next goal by changing our ranks with complete blend of madness and not be dependent on anyone, but having a journey by walking the path by our own self. Thank you so much, VP Sachin sir. And I'm sure with this learnings, we're going to rock this week and rock this journey ahead. Thank you once again. Thank you.